Yeah, we just put this thing on pause for a second because we were trying to figure it out before we started recording. I was telling Pete some stories about the bass and some of the stuff that happened back in those days. I don't know if you people know, you should know who Bob Babbitt is. He's a great Motown bass player. And Bob has one of these basses that I made him way back, probably 1977 or 76, somewhere around there. He came into my shop on 168 Court Street right here in Brooklyn. And he's a big guy, you know, and a great bass player and a wonderful human being, as I recall. I haven't seen him in a long time, but he used to come in. I used to set up his fenders for him and stuff. And he wanted a piccolo bass like this. Back then, the original bass had, some of them had like a real, the bottom line here was kind of sharp, you know. And Bob, being, you know, a larger person, this point was kind of digging in when he sat down. It sat right into his leg. He says, Carl, could we do anything about that? I said, well, yeah, we could cut your leg off. He said, other than that, Carl, could we do anything other than wouldn't be so violent? I said, well, yeah, we could round this off a little bit, you know. He said, I opt for rounding that off. I think that would be a better, that would be my choice. I said, okay, Bob, we'll just round this off, you know. And so we did, and that's where that particular line came from there. You know, because the original ones are a little sharper on the end. There's still a few of those out there, I think, somewhere that have not been changed. But we now, you know, don't dig into your thigh whenever you're holding it. Everybody seems to like this shape. I know Pete was just talking about how much he thought he liked this bass even before he came here, you know. And it's all ready to go, pretty much. We just, like I said, you want to take some close-up shots of it, Pete, or whatever, you know, let people know. And like I said, I do, in fact, Pete, over there is one right there, right? We have one on the floor that Calvin didn't pick up yet. He has the other one. He has the other one down in the shop right now. Yeah. I was just talking to Pete about the fretwork too, as I was doing the final stuff on the fretwork. I went over these frets probably 4 different times. I put them in, took the edges down, cleaned them up, and as it sat around here, you know, fingerboards shrink, things happen. You want to make sure. Like I said, it's amazing. A lot of builders don't seem to pay too much attention to things that they can control, as opposed to things that they can't really control, and they think they can. Like, you know, what the instrument's going to sound like. Well, you can't really control that. The only person that can control that within any kind of reason at all is the person playing it, you know. I mean, to make a bass out of a certain piece of wood and guarantee them that it's going to have this kind of a sound, or if you want this, that you put this heel block in here, it's made out of rosewood or ebony or whatever you're talking about, and you're going to get more highs or more sustain. I hate that word. I hate that word with a passion. Sustain, you know, or anything like that. It just doesn't make any sense to me, because I've been doing this a long time, and I would never guarantee anything like that. I couldn't. Anybody with any intelligence couldn't do that. And anybody who believes that someone can guarantee them that, that's just foolish. That really is, and that's not my opinion. That if you out there, if you put something up here and really think about it, seriously think about it, that's pretty hard to do. To tell someone, well, if I make it like this, it's going to sound like that. There's a lot of questions you might want to ask yourself while you're listening to someone tell you that. What room am I going to be in? Is the air conditioner on or is it off? What kind of an amplifier am I going to? What kind of strings? Flat wound, round wound? A short scale, long scale? Am I outside at Yankee Stadium playing to a crowd of 10,000 people, or am I in the living room with my mother and dad playing little folk songs or something? When is it going to sound like this thing that these people talk about? You know, and you put 9,000 bolts in a bolt-on neck, so you can get the sound of a neck-through bass. Well, all that's going to do is make the bass heavier. That's serious. And again, I'd say these people that go on and on about all this bullshit, which is exactly what it is, they forget about, you might want to think about putting the bridge in the right place while you're doing all your other crap, because you can control that. And I guarantee you, when they put these bridges in, they are dead center on the fingerboard, and the strings aren't going to fall off this side or that side. That's serious. The truss rod is very accessible. It works. You don't have to go crazy. You just go up here, bing, bang, boom, you turn that, everything works. And it's in there solid. It's not rattling around. People talk about dead notes and the little noises and stuff. A lot of it's because the truss rod's loose, Every one of these necks that we make, when we make the neck, when it comes out of the bag, after we put, where are those ones? Oh, they're over here. I'm going to show you those two. Nothing. That's what you should hear. Nothing. Solid. All these necks here just came out of the bag because we put the rods in the bag. Is that my phone making all that noise?
Yeah.
Huh? Okay, let me shut it off. Hang on a second, guys. Where's my phone? I don't even have it on. I don't know where it is.
I think it's back over there.
Hmm? I don't know. Oh, here. Okay. See what the message is. Oh, it's one of you guys I'm making a bass for. Wants to know when his bass is ready. It's coming. They're all coming. What was I going to say, Pete? Oh, yeah. When we put the rods in, these necks have already been tapered. These are all ready for fingerboards right now. Do we have one around here that's rattling, Pete? I think we have one somewhere, don't we?
There's part of one.
Huh?
Can we pause this real quick?
Yeah.